seed collections. Now after seed collections, we have to go for the culture methods. The shrimps are cultured in the following methods, that may be extensive culture, semi-intensive culture, intensive culture, pond culture, Pockley culture, culture in berries, pen culture, cage culture. Is it clear? In today's class, we will discuss about extensive culture, semi-intensive culture, intensive culture, pond culture and Pockley cultures. Now see here, what do you mean by extensive culture? The culturing of the shrimp in the large areas here, okay, in the large areas with the density of these shrimps, and as well as there is a natural feeding. Okay, in this one we have the density as well as natural feeding. In extensive culture, there should be 1 to 5 juvenile shrimps per square meter. Okay, there should be what? 1 to 5 juveniles for every square meter, and there should not be any supplementary aeration is given here. Okay, the supplementary aeration is not given, and the shrimp fed on only natural feed organisms. Okay, artificial feeding is not carried out. There are only 1 to 5 juveniles for every square meter is to be juveniles should be kept, and there should not be any supplementary aerations. The tanks should be kept as it is. Then the shrimps should be fed with only the natural feed organism. No artificial feeding is to be done, and even the pond is not fertilized artificially. Okay, the pond should not be fertilized artificially. But the production here is what? It is less, and it is just 1000 kg for every hectare per year. For every hectare, 1000 kg per year. Okay, and this extensive culture is carried out for the Pockley in Kerala and the berries of West Bengal. Okay, that is the extensive culture. So in extensive culture, the stocking density should be restricted to 1 to 5 juveniles for every square meters area. There should not be supplementary aeration. There should not be any the artificial fertilization of the tanks, etc. Then the shrimps should be fed with only the natural feed organism. Okay, no artificial feeding is to be carried out. Okay, the example for the extensive cultures is the Pockley of Kerala. Pockley of Kerala. We will study this Pockley of Kerala. Pockley is a saline tolerant rice field. Okay, that is the berries of West Bengal are these example. Okay, that is after extensive culture, it is a semi-intensive culture. Semi-intensive culture, extensive culture and intensive culture. Okay, extensive culture and intensive culture. In between these two, there is another one that is called as the semi-intensive culture. Now, this is based on the principle that is feed the pond, not the shrimp. Feed the pond and not the shrimp. What it means, I'll just will see. That is, first, what is semi-intensive culture? That is culture of shrimps in a large area with natural feeding. Okay, with natural feeding, artificial fertilization and supplementary feeding is called semi-intensive culture. Here, the meaning that is feed the pond, not the shrimp. Feed the pond, not the shrimp. That is, the pond is inoculated with the live feed organism. Okay, here what we are doing, we are feeding the pond with the live feed organism, fertilization. Fertilized with manures. Okay, the pond should be fertilized with the manures to enhance the growth of the live feed. Means what? We are feeding the pond here. Okay, we are feeding the pond. We are inoculating. We are introducing the live feed organisms. Okay, in the pond, and we are also fertilizing the pond with the manures to see that there should be growth of live feed. Okay, to see that there should be growth of live feed in the pond. Okay, in the pond, the shrimps feed on these live feeds. Okay, the shrimps feed on these live feeds. That is the meaning here. Feed the pond, not the shrimp. We are not artificially feeding the shrimps here, but we are feeding the pond so that whatever the feed which is present in the shrimp in the pond, that is fed by the shrimps. Is it clear? So the shrimps are not fed with the prepared feed here. In the semi-intensive culture, the shrimps are not fed with the prepared feed, but they are given rice bran and oil. Okay. Intensive culture. production of large quantities of shrimps in small area here. Production of large quantities of shrimps in small areas by stocking high density. Here it is what the high density is maintained. It means what, in a given area the large number of the shrimps are released here. Okay, so that is what the stocking high density, concentrating labor, recirculation of water is done. Okay, that is the removal of the water, again changing the water, recirculation of water. Aeration should be provided here. In the intensive, the aeration is, that is supplementary aeration is given, and then the prepared feed is given here. In the intensive culture, the prepared feed is given. Okay, in intensive culture, we are not giving the prepared feed, we are feeding the pond and we are not feeding the shrimps. Whatever the pond has, the feeds are there, on that only the shrimps are feeding. But in intensive culture, we are giving the artificial feed in the form of pellets, In this intensive culture, the yield is 4.5 to 24 metric tons per hectare. Example, okay, in Japan, that is Penaeus japonicus is the example. Now, pond culture. It is the another one where the shrimps are cultured in the constructed marine ponds. Okay, constructed in the marine ponds. It is a type of semi-intensive. That is, the prawns are reared in a pond is called in the stocking pond. The stocking pond is maintained in the following ways, which we will discuss here. The pond is constructed near the coast, okay, near the coastal areas with a very even bottom. The bottom of the tank should not be with the elevation and the depressions. It should be what? Even, okay, evenly maintained. Then it should be near to the coastal area, and it should have a proper facility of the entry and exit of marine water in the tank. Okay, throughout the year there should be what? The facility for entry and exit of marine water, and water must be maintained throughout the year. Is it clear? The pH should be 6.5 to 7.5 and water should be rich in oxygen and nutrients. Is it clear? The temperature should be 25 to 30 degrees centigrade and salinity should be 10 to 30%. See here, that is the pond culture, it should be constructed near to the coastal area. Is it clear? And the bottom of this tank should be uniformly distributed without any elevations and edges. Then there should be a proper facility for entry and exit of the marine water. The water should be maintained throughout the year. The pH should be 6.5 to 7.5 and the temperature 25 to 30 degrees, whereas the salinity should be 10 to 30%. That is about the pond culture. Now the Pokely culture. Now Pokely is I told that Pokely is a saline tolerant paddy field. It is practiced, okay, it is practiced generation after generations in Kerala, okay, in the Ernakulam district, etc. Is it clear? That is, it is a traditional method of prawn culture which is practiced generation after generation in Kerala. It is a type of extensive method now. Okay, it is a type of extensive method. Now, the paddy cultivation is restricted to a single crop now here. During the saline period, low saline period. Now, when this is carried out, it is carried out in the June to September, where there is a low saline period we call. Now, Pokely is a disease resistant. Okay, it is a disease resistant. As it is a disease resistant, there is no using of insecticides. Okay, insecticides are not used here. Fertilizers are also not used here in this one. In the Pokely culture, that is, fertilizers are also not used because the field is enriched already by the excreta of fish and prawn. So that's why it is already enriched. It has a natural manner. That is why the fertilizers are not used in this Pokely culture. Thus, because of this, the Pokely culture has the very compatibility with the paddy and the prawn crops. Okay, paddy and the prawn crops. So what it is? It is the Pokely is the saline tolerant paddies. Is it clear? That is, usually this is carried out in the month of June to September. Now, prawns, that is shrimps or the prawns, is cultured in the Pockley field after harvesting. Okay, after harvesting. Once the paddy is harvested, then the prawns are cultured here. The juvenile prawns have the tendency to move towards the estuary and backwater. See what happens, the juveniles come, I told, during the high tides usually. During high tides, the juvenile prawns enter into the paddy field. Okay, they enter into the paddy field. Once they enter into the paddy field through the sluice gate, gates. So these are the sluice gates here. These are the sluice gates. It is of wooden, and these are with the bamboo screens. So once they enter during the high tides, they are stopped by the sluice gate. Okay, and these along with this juveniles, the nutrients also enter into the fields. The nutrients are also enter into the field. And during low tides, juveniles try to escape. Okay, during low tides, that is, the water will be gushed out. So during that, the sluice gate is what? Closed, or there is a bamboo screen in this sluice gate that is to be closed to prevent the escape of the juveniles. Is it clear? Now in this one, Pockley, the fishing operations are carried out from December to May. Okay, from December to May, and this fishing operation that is done during night hours for 6 to 7 days. Okay, for 6 to 7 days around new moon and full moon phase, because there will be high tide in the sea. Now the conical bags nets are fixed at the sluice gates. Okay, the conical net bags are fixed at the sluice gates. Here the nets are fixed at this sluice gate. They retain the large prawns which try to escape with the receding tide. At the end, the fields are harvested completely by draining water and using the cast nets by hand picking. See here in Pockley, I told Pockley is the paddy cultivation, that is the saline tolerant, which is done, okay, in the low saline period. Okay, in the low saline period, and then once it is done here, the high tides brings the juveniles. The high tides brings the juveniles in the paddy fields, and along with these juveniles, the nutrients also comes. Then once they enter, the sluice gate is closed so that the low tide should not take away the young ones. Now once that is, it is cultured there in the month of December to May. Is it clear? December to May, the harvesting is done, and that is done during the night hours for 6 to 7 days. That is, these conical bags are placed at the sluice gates, and then the larger, the grown up prawns are captured. The grown up prawns are captured, and at the end, the complete gate is opened, and which is fitted with the nets, and then can be collected even by the hand picking. Once that is the Penis indicus, which grows up to the marketable size of 16 grams in 2.5 months. In the 2.5 months, is it clear? That is the harvesting, and the Penis monodon can attain the 35 grams in 4 months. Okay, in 4 months, that is the marketable size of these shrimps. Okay, so that is collected and then marketed. So Pockley culture is one of the important which is carried out in the Kerala. Is it clear? So that is what the Pockley culture. Then next one is the, what are the advantages of this? It is economic, okay, because we are not artificial feeding for them, okay, and harvesting is also easy, and there is no labor investment, and seed collection is also not difficult. Okay, so the disadvantage is that the predators are freely entering, and the number of these items and the environmental factors are not in control. Is it clear? So the advantages and disadvantages are both are there in the Pockley cultures, but the Pockley culture is giving the, is practiced from generation to generations in the Kerala. Okay, with this, that is, we have studied the different methods of seed collection. Then we have studied the different methods of the cultures. Okay, and in the next class we will discuss about the culture in berries, pen culture, cage culture and prawn culture. Okay, thank you.